Steph Curry is the second greatest player in NBA history. In my opinion, if and when he wins his 5th ring this year, he will be the second greatest player behind Michael Jordan. And yes, that is over LeBron James, and I'll explain in this video why I believe that. You have to think about the volume and the distance of his shooting, and he's still greater than literally everybody except 7 players in NBA history. Think about how crazy that is. I talked about it earlier this year. I think Steph Curry is already cemented as a top 5 player of all time. Maybe even 4, maybe even 3 at this point, but like top 5 at the minimum. I want to start with this stat because I feel like this stat really explains how incredible Steph Curry is. And remember, this is my opinion. I'm just going to present you with some facts and some reasons why Steph Curry could be the second greatest player of all time, and maybe you'll agree with me and maybe you won't. But again, it's an opinion. So this is the list of the top 10 players of all time, true shooting percentage. As you can see, Rudy Gobert, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan. You see all those players at the top of the list, and then Steph Curry is number 7. Do you know why Steph Curry stands out on this list? He is the only guard in NBA history in the top 10 of true shooting percentage. I'm not trying to take away from like Rudy Gobert or Jared Allen and what they do, but centers, especially someone like Rudy Gobert, who does not, shoot threes, the closer you are to the basket, the higher your percentage is going to be, right, to make shots. So it makes sense that a top 10 list is going to include mainly centers. Cedric Maxwell was a forward, but again, no guards are on this list. So I say all that to say, the distance at which Steph Curry shoots, he drives to the basket as well, like it's not like he just shoots, but the distance at which he shoots, and we know he shoots from half court, and he's still number 7 all time. This was posted by a Warriors Instagram page. I think it was like Warriors video, so shout out to them. But look at this stat. So this was earlier this year. Steph Curry surpassed LeBron in all-time 50-point games. He did it in 537 fewer games than LeBron, and obviously he has 15 as compared to LeBron's 14. Again, these are all by the same account, but Steph Curry also has the most 50-point games after turning 35. And let me be clear, I'm not trying to bring down LeBron and his accomplishments because LeBron has done so many things in his career. I'm just trying to show you what Steph has done though. But this is the stat of the 50-point games that I want to focus on. Steph Curry has the most games in NBA history with 50 points and fewer than 10 free throw attempts. If you want to see a crazy stat to go along with that, look at this. A player averaging 30 in a month of the NBA season, Steph Curry has all top 5. 2.6 in the month of February 2024. 2.6 free throws for a global superstar. That's insane. One of the things that is so apparent watching Steph Curry play is he gets the worst whistle of any superstar in the league. If you watch this page, you know I don't make bold statements like that, but if you've watched Steph Curry, you know he should get way more free throws than he gets. In my opinion, if Steph Curry actually got the free throws that he deserved, he's already unstoppable as it is. He would be completely unstoppable. Like, he would average 40 every year. See, here's the thing. Steph Curry, if he got, let's just say 10 free throws per game. I'm not saying the amount he should or shouldn't get. I'm just saying, let's use 10 as a number. Unlike some other players, Steph Curry is going to make 90, at least 90% of them. So for every 10 free throws, he misses 1. I believe that's how 90% would work. I tried to look up how many free throws he's attempted in his career, and I believe this stat was 5,585 free throws. Again, just making up numbers here, but imagine we doubled that to 10,000 free throws. Imagine how many points he would have in his career and he would average, because again, he's making at least 90% of them, which is why I said if he actually got like a lot of free throws per game, he would be completely unguardable because he's not going to miss the free throws. So back to this stat. What does this tell you? This tells you that Steph Curry is not getting a ton of free throws and just getting 50 because he had 20 free throws in that game on, 10 shot attempts. No, he literally scored 50 because he scored in the basket. He scored a 3, he shot a 3, he scored in the paint, in a layup, like whatever he did. He was not standing at the free throw line getting his points, quote unquote free points. And it's not like Steph Curry doesn't bring in the crowds. He has been featured in all 27 games since 2015. This stat was from last year. I remember seeing it. I don't know if it's changed since then, but I would assume not, because I feel like maybe if there has been a game since then, Steph Curry was probably featured in it. But since 2015, any game that has viewed at least 14 million viewers, Steph Curry has been every single one of them. People want to watch that man play. Go along with that, in the 21-22 season, Steph generated 1.4 billion views on the NBA's platform, which was almost double of Ja Morant at that time, who drew 791 million. So you're probably like, that's not really a basketball related stat. So what does that have to do with Steph Curry being the second greatest of all time? Well, whether you like it or not, part of the showmanship and the entertainment purposes is part of the game. And Steph Curry generates all the views, all the entertainment, all the stuff that the NBA would love to have. People show up an hour and a half before the game just to watch his pregame routine. Not to, like, you know, just hang out. They go to watch his pregame routine, even though the game is not starting for an hour or an hour and a half. When I made the video early in the season talking about Steph Curry potentially getting his 5th ring this year, I said, one of the stats in the video is that Steph Curry would be one of 5 players, well, 6 including him, in NBA history to have multiple MVPs and 5 championships. And he got 3 of those rings on LeBron's watch. Say what you want about the Warriors with KD, he still got the rings on LeBron, right? Let's even put that aside, right? Let's just say we count 2015 and 2016, even though I don't think that's fair, but let's just say you count 2015 and 2016 because those were the 2 years without KD. Well, then it's 1-1, so it's not like LeBron is ahead of him. He won 1 and Steph won 1 on him. Also, the gravity with which he pulls, there is literally no stat that measures this. Not even to mention how much he runs. But look at this. This was during the series that we just watched. Every single player on the floor is guarding him. He has 5 players on him. There is not a single player, not one that I have seen, who has had all 5 defenders. We've seen double teams, maybe even triple teams. Every single player is guarding that player. He draws so much fear in the defense that every single player has to guard him at one time. This is one single play, and this happened many times. So my point is, the fear that he puts in the defense, because he literally just needs a sliver of space and he will still shoot it over you and make it, right? But they are basically saying, we don't care about the 4 other players on the floor, despite them being NBA players. Literally, we only care about you and you only. These are things that will not show up in a box score, in, you know, a stat sheet, nothing like that. This is just eye test things. You watch Steph Curry play, you know, as soon as he steps on the floor, the defense is worried, right? And this picture proves it. There are so many stats and so many metrics you can put out there for Steph Curry in his favor. We obviously know the greatest shooter ever, his, 3-point stats, so many things you can look up will be in favor of him. Obviously, this video will be so long if I went to go find every single stat for him. We see it with the accolades, we see it with our eyes, we know what we're watching. And in my opinion, if he gets the 5th ring this year, he will have 1 more ring than LeBron. And it's not that rings are the only factor, because obviously that's why people don't say Bill Russell, rest in peace, is the greatest of all time, because even though he has 11, there are other factors. Steph Curry has checked all the boxes, and he will have won 1 more ring than LeBron, and he has done it with so many iterations of teammates. So what I mean by that was, it was Klay Thompson as the 2nd best player to Steph. Then it was KD. Obviously, KD is KD, right? But still. Then it was Andrew Wiggins, who was the 2nd best player that championship year. Now it's Jimmy Butler. You can argue for Draymond Green, over Klay Thompson. That's not the point, right? Like, we know how important Draymond is. My point is, if you just give Steph Curry anybody who can knock down shots and just take some pressure off of him, you have a great shot. So remember, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree. I just know what I have watched out of Steph Curry every single year, and he is so important to this game.